Hey everyone, Five in the Word. I'm Jason Johnson, and I'm going to be starting on Genesis chapter 4. Thank you so much for joining in with me today. So here we go. This is about Cain and Abel. We got 5 minutes, so I'm going to get into it. Now Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, saying, I have gotten a man with the help of the Lord. And again she bore his brother Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of the sheep, and Cain was a worker of the ground. If you go back to verse 1 of chapter 4, where it said Adam knew Eve, it's not like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. It's not like, that kind of knowing, but it's just like more the intimate knowing, like, they got busy. And then, they had Cain. And, that's probably pretty obvious because, you can't just have a baby just off of just, saying hi to someone. Or at least I don't know, but, anyway. So Abel is a keeper of the sheep, so he's watching over animals, and Cain is a worker of the ground. And that's really interesting because Cain is watching over sheep, which would be the representation of the sacrifice. Jesus is the Lamb of God, and when man was punished, he was to work of the ground. So, it's really symbolic from the very giddy up or get go for people that aren't from Chicago. Okay, so in verse 4, and Abel also brought the firstborn of his block, or his flock, and their fat portions. And the Lord had regarded for Abel and his offering. But for Cain and his offering he had no regard. So Cain was very angry and his face fell. Okay, let's go back real quick. In verse 4 where it said, and Abel also brought the firstborn of his flock and their fat portions. And what this is saying is Abel did a faith offering to God. God is really impressed with us when we can give him our first fruits. When God gave Jesus, it was his first and only child. When we tithe, we give the first 10%. And here you see this whole tithing thing taking place because Abel gave the firstborn of his flock and their fat portions. So he's saying, God, I'm going to give you the best that I got. Here's yours. You take the first 10%, the 90%, you'll make it up, and it'll be all good. But you'll see where Abel, where he did great by the Lord, you'll see that Cain, he didn't do so well because as we get longer into it, you'll see that Cain just kind of got around to whatever he can offer. He didn't offer the Lord his first fruits. He just kind of said, well, I got $100. Well, he had vegetables, but I have 100 carrots. You can have a couple of these carrots here and there, and I'm going to keep the rest. And that's not how faith works. It's like God requires the very best out of us. So in doing that, he requires us to give the first as faith so that he can make up the rest and bless what we have. And it's like, if you think about it, you're like, oh, I don't want to give up 10%. Think about this. If you had $100 and you gave 10 of it, and you knew that the rest of the 90 was just going to be totally awesome, and that 10% was going to work in your favor, then you would do it. So, that's how I look at it. I probably didn't explain that as good as I probably could have. But, as I said in disclaimer, I'm not no pastor or nothing. I'm just someone that, feels the desire that I should do this. So, I'm just trying to give you guys a hookup on the abridged version. That makes no sense whatsoever, but thanks for watching. And thank you for continuing to watch. So I think I'm going to stop right there because I'm at 5 minutes, and by the time I do all the other stuff and speak all nonsense, it's like 6 or 7 minutes anyway. So Thanks for tuning in. I'd appreciate it if you guys watch the videos, and if you like them, then you could subscribe to them. That'd be really cool. So then I wouldn't feel like I'm just talking to myself. So thank you a lot. 5 in the Word, Jason Johnson.